Happy Halloween!
In this episode, I'm going to talk about Scream 6.
You know you're like the 10th guy to try this, right? It never works out for the dipshit in the mask.
This video is dedicated to Stephen Pluhar, my godfather.
Yeah, what's your favorite scary movie?
Thank you for clicking on my video. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate that you did. Hello, world. I'm Franklin, aka Mr. FLIXTER, and I'm here to talk motion pictures. Mr. Happy Halloween! Did I get you? 'Tis the season to be spooky. It's October. Happy Halloween! Let's talk horror movies.
I hear you're a horror fan.
So, my three most anticipated horror movies of this year were Insidious 5, Saw 10, and, drumroll please, Scream 6.
Hello, world. It's now a film critic extraordinaire. Meow, 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 meow. I think it goes without saying, this is a spoiler review for all Scream flicks. So go watch them. Right, meow. Meow, 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 meow.
What's your favorite Scream movie? How would you rank them? Leave comments below and we can talk about it.
Slashes, huh? What's your favorite scary movie?
Not that one.
Who's your favorite Ghostface killer? We all have one. I'm more of a Billy and Stu kind of guy.
So we've had 9 Ghostface killers so far.
In case you didn't know, Scream is the reason why I love horror movies so much.
Come on, it's just a movie. No, it's not. To some people, the original is their favorite thing in the world. The movie that made them love horror.
And when I started my channel, Scream is one of the first horror franchises that I tackled. I covered all 5 of them, and I ranked them. So I'll leave links below for that. And I was assigned to review this movie for HorrorBuzz.com. So I'll leave a link below for that as well. I have it on Blu-ray now, but I did see it when it came out in theaters in 3D. But the 3D didn't enhance the experience. Yeah, there were some cool establishing shots of NYC that were very impressive, but that was about it. I went to one of those fan events. That's where I got the poster from.
Fun fact. For a surprise birthday present, I took my godfather Steve to go see this.
What movie caused you to be obsessed with horror? leave comments down below and we can talk about that too.
And God help anyone who slightly fucks with that special memory, who makes a movie they think disrespects it.
So far, in each of the Scream films, each entry up to this point has deconstructed a unique horror topic.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
The way I see it, someone's out to make a sequel, so it's our job to observe the rules of the sequel. You are dealing with the concluding chapter of a trilogy.
Well, it's a stab fanatic, clearly. Working on less of a shriequel and more of a screamake. Copyright terms, by the way. All there are now are remakes. Only horror the studio's greenlight.
Oh my God, he's making a requel. A what? Not quite a reboot, not quite a sequel.
Someone is out to make a sequel to the requel. We're in a franchise, and there are certain rules to a continuing franchise.
Each of the different sequels goes over the rules of the genre at the time. And also each one of them consistently changes through time as well. Like this.
Number 1. You can never have sex.
Number 1. The body count is always bigger.
Here are some super trilogy rules. 1. You got a killer who's going to be superhuman.
Modern audiences get savvy to the rules of the originals. So the reversals become the new standard.
See, you can't just reboot a franchise from scratch anymore. That shit doesn't work. But you can't just do a straight sequel either. You gotta build something new, but not too new, or the internet goes bug fucking nuts.
Rule 1. Everything is bigger than last time. Bigger budget, bigger cast, bigger body count, longer chases, shootouts, beheadings. You gotta top what came before to keep people coming back.
Beheadings?
Beheadings.
Sex equals death.
Oh, more blood, more gore. If you find yourself dealing with an unexpected backstory and a preponderance of exposition, then the sequel rules do not apply.
There are still rules, but the rules have changed. The unexpected is the new cliche.
What's wrong with elevated horror? But that's not stab. Real stab movies are meta-slasher whodunits.
Legacy characters, cannon fodder at this point. Usually brought back only to be killed off in some cheap bid for nostalgia.
Number 2. You can never drink or do drugs.
Number 2. The death scenes are always much more elaborate. Number 2. Anyone, including the main character, can die. This means you, Sid.
But why are you so sure that the killer's working by the rules of a horror remake?
Well, the original stab structure is pretty apparent.
It's gotta be part of an ongoing storyline, even if the story shouldn't have been ongoing in the first place.
Rule 2. Whatever happened last time, expect the opposite. Franchises only survive by subverting expectations.
Using the movies as examples of what's trendy in horror at that time.
It's a sin. It's an extension of number 1.
Carnage, candy. Your core audience just expects it. It's the final chapter. It could be fucking Reservoir Dogs by the time this thing is through.
2 kids killed in a house when their parents are away.
And then the school's hot chick, savage beyond recognition.
We all know where it goes from there.
All they're talking about is how Stab 8 pissed on their childhoods, how they crammed in social commentary just to make it elevated.
Heroes now in college. Check. Suspicious new characters brought in to round out the suspect list and/or body count. Check, check, and check.
And number 3. Never, ever, ever, under any circumstances say, I'll be right back.
And number 3. If you want your sequel to become a franchise, never, ever... How do we find the killer, Randy? That's what I want to know. Oh. Number 3. The past will come back to bite you in the ass.
Party.
Exactly. Party. Guaranteed third act main cast bloodbath.
New main characters, yes, but supported by and related to legacy characters.
And rule 3. No one is safe. Main characters are completely expendable now too.
Each Scream film's a nice little time capsule for that era in horror.
She won't be back. I'm getting another beer. You want one? Yeah, sure. I'll be right back.
Let's look at the suspects. There's Derek, the obvious boyfriend. Hello, Billy Loomis. Whatever you think you know about the past, forget it. The past is not at rest. Any sins you think were committed in the past are about to break out and destroy you.
This is what the reboots do. They one up the original ending.
The Woodsboro murders ended at a party, so in the remake,
The party's the false ending. New rules.
exactly. Going by the pattern, whoever it is has to be connected to someone that came before.
The worst part is, franchises are just continuing episodic installments designed to boost an IP.
So the question remains, is Scream 6 truly a Scream baby? Directed by Tyler Gillette and Matt Bettinelli-Olpin, I like how they're experimental by trying new things. It doesn't necessarily follow the Scream playbook like the other films do, and the opening truly grabbed my attention. It starts with potential. Samara Weaving plays Laura,
Hi, Reggie.
Laura, hi.
Hello.
a film school professor who gets the first phone call of the film.
This is not the first impression I wanted to make on a college professor.
Oh, associate professor, and it's just film studies.
When I first saw Samara Weaving, I was so disappointed. I was really hoping that she wasn't going to be the first victim, that it was going to be a fake out.
It's such a shame her character got Drew Beckard like that.
Because of her career, I was hoping she'd be a more active character. There would have been great interactions between her and like Mindy and Kirby. That would have been amazing. Missed opportunity. To me, her death seems reminiscent of Sarah Michelle Gellar's death in I Know What You Did Last Summer. The line, "Now I see something red," is so good.
Now I see something red.
I also like how it takes place on Halloween. The subway scene is full of people in Halloween costumes from iconic horror franchises, with characters in old ones and new ones alike.
Hello, world. Madame Matinee here. So the killer from Scream walks in the subway, and I asked him, "Why the long face, darling?"
Out of the movies that are just Wes Craven movies alone, it references Last House on the Left from 1972, Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984, Shocker from 1989, The People Under the Stairs from 1991, and even Vampire in Brooklyn from 1995. The non-related Wes Craven ones include Chucky, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Pinhead, Florence Pugh's Flower Dress from Midsommar, a group of tethered people from Jordan Peele's Us, Billy the Puppet, the Babadook, the Grabber from the Black Phone, and even Grace, Samara Weaving's character. She's even wearing the wedding dress. Ready or not.
I think I even saw Pennywise at a Georgie.
I like how they play with the claustrophobia involved of crowded, small quarters, and they use their environment to their advantage. Another plus is this has some of the most brutal kills so far with very impressive practical effects.
That guy's dead.
This film also breaks the record for the highest body count. There's 6 victims, not including the 3 Ghostface killers that die at the end. This film also breaks the record for the highest amount of survivors, with 7. I think too many characters survive the alleged most brutal Ghostface so far. No Scream film is complete without a good chase scene, and this has many well-staged ones, although not having a chase scene in the alleyway in the beginning was a huge missed opportunity. I didn't like the framing and the camera movements in the grand finale. I think the dialogue-driven scenes from the characters felt hollow because the exposition dump is oversimplified, while the filmmaking aspect is overcomplicated. Too many characters are doing too many things. In such a big space, it's really hard to tell what's going on and where it's happening. Even the way it's edited and the way it's cut, it's hard to tell what you're looking at exactly. I find that kind of frustrating. The film was written by James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick. I'm confused by the intro. Was Tony Ravioli in cahoots with Richie's family? Were there 2 separate sets of killers pursuing the main characters? I do like how the Jason character is watching Jason Takes Manhattan in the beginning. Good reference, good reference. They should have called part 3 Ghostface Takes Hollywood. And they should have called this one Ghostface Takes Manhattan. Talk about huge missed opportunity. The line that Ghostface says in the beginning about horror movies, you know the one I'm talking about.
Who gives a fuck about movies?
Really bothers me. And here's why. Horror fans do. Scream fans do. I do. I think it's disrespectful to both Scream fans and the franchise they love.
Fuck this franchise.
Furthermore, if the killer doesn't care about the movies, then why kill the Ghostface mask at all? Finishing Richie's film, like they established with the Jason character, is enough of a motivation, and that would have worked out fine. What if Ghostface was killing other Ghostfaces the whole film?
Now, would that be a killer Ghostface? Or a Ghostface killer. Meow, 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 meow. Because a killer Ghostface implies someone's going around killing people in a Ghostface mask. And a Ghostface killer implies some sicko in a Ghostface mask is killing other Ghostfaces. Yeah.
The entire cast has amazing chemistry. Jenna Ortega is Tara Carpenter. Melissa Barrera is Sam Carpenter. Jenna Ortega is quickly becoming today's newest Scream Queen. She's fantastic here. I'm so glad she returned. I thought the romance between Tara and Chad was kind of pointless. It was a forced love story, and those don't really have any place in these films. So it felt disingenuous and random. The first time I saw this, I rolled my eyes. I'm still not a big fan of Sam, though. My issue with her before was her acting. She is better at emoting this time. I just don't think she's a very good actress. I don't think she can carry these films. Sam's not even an interesting character. I think she's the least interesting character out of the new group of characters so far. Not a fan. Not a fan. And I think Sam's connection to Billy is a bit of a stretch. Jasmine Savoy Brown is Mindy Meeks Martin. Mason Gooding is Chad Meeks Martin, Mandy's twin. The twins, Mindy and Chad, are great with their comedic timing. Jack Champion is Ethan Landry. Henry Sesmick is Christopher Stone. Sam's therapist? He was also in Ready or Not. Liana Liberato is Quinn Bailey. Quinn had so much potential of being the next Tatum or Kirby. Faking her death felt so unnecessary. Characters doing this has been established in part 1 and 3, but it's been overdone in so many other films. Did it really have to be in this one too? Couldn't come up with something else, some other idea? Really? That's why you don't release a film a year after the last one. Didn't you learn from Friday the 13th?
I've seen enough horror movies.
But anyways, it worked with Billy the first time because it was so sudden and it was unexpected. It didn't work with Roman because Gale checks his pulse. And wouldn't they do dental records? Wouldn't they realize that that wasn't actually Quinn's body? Dermot Mulrooney is Wayne Bailey. Wayne is the detective on the case. He brings a parental perspective with a good grounded performance up until the finale. That's when he goes totally unhinged and off the rails, but not in a good way. Devin Nakota is Anika. Tony Revolori is Jason. Roger L. Jackson returns as Ghostface. The films wouldn't be the same without Roger L. Jackson.
Oh, poor Sydney. You think this is all about you? You think you're still the star?
And this is the angriest, most ruthless Ghostface too.
I'm not gonna stop until I butcher you. You and anyone who gets between us. You and Tara better watch your backs.
Courtney Cox returns as Gale Weathers. She shows she's still got it as a survivor on a non-stop mission to stop the new Ghostface.
It's amazing how much the character of Gale Weathers has grown and developed over the years. Yet she still comes around full circle. Like this.
I'll send you a copy. Murder. Oh, Sydney, share with us, please. Hey!
Nice try, sweetie. But I've done this dance before. Oh, God.
Courtney Cox has also portrayed Gale Weathers in all 6 installments.
I still got it.
Along with Roger L. Jackson.
Hello.
Hello, Gale.
They're the only 2 actors to be in all 6 films.
Strange that you and I have never spoken on the phone. This is long overdue.
I agree.
I did think that Gale's phone call was underwhelming. The best parts of it were in the previews. The action isn't very well choreographed, and it's dark, and the way it's edited is really sharp and fast-paced, so it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. The pacing's off too. Putting Ghostface on hold was so funny, though.
Can you hold, please?
What?
And Hayden Panettiere returns as Kirby Reed. It's great that she's back with an active role in the plot, complete with interactions with the new cast.
Best Nightmare on Elm Street.
The original.
Best Friday the 13th.
Part
Final
2.
chapter. Had a crush on Corey Feldman.
Respect. Psycho 2 is
Underrated. Candyman. The original or equal?
Both.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yup.
Sadly, Neve Campbell didn't join the cast this time. This is the first film that doesn't have Sydney. But to be fair, her role in Part 5 was so minor, they could have cut her from the film completely, and it wouldn't have any impact on the conclusion. I said that in my Scream 5 video. There's a nice reference here to explain her absence, though.
I talked to Sydney.
She's not coming here, is she?
No. She sends her love.
She's missed, but still respected.
She's taking Mark and the kids someplace safe. She deserves to have her happy ending.
Real talk, though. It's infuriating that Matthew Lillard hasn't returned, and Skeet Ulrich has returned twice. Not that against Skeet Ulrich, but if he's going to come back, why not bring back Matthew Lillard, too? For the longest time, I've thought he was alive. Overall, what starts with an interesting premise becomes a borderline parody of itself. The potential for greatness was there, but it doesn't pan out. It feels so derivative of Part 2. It's got A killer parent, B, it's set in a college, and C, it even mentions Omega Beta Zeta.
You Omega Beta Zeta?
No, not yet.
Scream 6 also cheats the audience. Some characters have great potential, but then they're unceremoniously killed off. The ending's just underwhelming. And I have a hard time believing Gail Weathers survived again. This would have been a good time to kill her off, and I wish they had the balls to do that. Nothing against Courtney Cox, or the character. But they needed something big to happen to bring the other characters together. I guess they didn't want to copy themselves again, but they already did that so much. Why stop there, right? Things do get resolved, but it just felt so unsatisfactory. It's a convoluted mess if you think about it logically. I was very disappointed with this film. And if you're a Scream fan, you might enjoy some moments. Some of the best are the therapist kill scene, and then there's the subway scene. Then there's a scene between the two apartments on the ladder. And I did like the Ghostface Museum, the tribute to all the other movies. It reminded me of the one in Jigsaw. That's probably where they got the idea from. But it's cool to see a Scream version of that. There's so many different references to other Scream films from Scream fans like you and me. For me personally, Scream is my favorite horror franchise because it's one of the most consistent horror franchises out there, along with Chucky and Saw.
There's so many scratch my head moments. A lot of times, you just want to roll your eyes and say, oh, come on. Really? Really?
It's got a lot of unbelievable moments where people get stabbed a lot and you think they should die, but they don't. What's with that? I want to see something different. I want to see Scream 7 as like a found footage film. Because everything's digital nowadays, so people could be live streaming and they can get murdered live on camera on the internet, and then it'll be all about like different like YouTube influencers doing their live streams and they get killed, or people are just recording and going around different times. It could even be from the perspective of Ghostface, and there could be like 5-6 killers. Go nuts with it. I want to see something like that, something we haven't seen before, a whole different structure, and it can tackle the found footage subgenre. Because what did they tackle in this one? That's right, franchises. I guess a whole lot hasn't really happened in horror in a year. I did like how the legacy characters have active roles in the plot, but I think the motive was uninspired.
I was never really a fan of the Richie character from Part 5. Mainly because I'm not really a fan of the actor. Nothing against him, like, even in The Boys, I didn't think he was all that great. But so to continue a story like this, it's just not that interesting. But hey, could be worse. They could have continued Amber's story.
Unfortunately, most of the film felt tedious, because it's more scattered than the other films are. and it doesn't feel as cohesive, moving from one plot point to the next. It doesn't give time to let each kill sink in, to show you how it affects the group, like it did in the other films. It even does that in the Nightmare on Elm Street films, when it does the funeral scenes. It covers the theme of don't be afraid of monsters, which makes the monsters afraid of you.
How'd you get past what happened to you? I didn't want to spend the rest of my life being afraid of monsters. I wanted the monsters to be afraid of me. I like that.
But if they had given it another year to flesh out those ideas, it would have given the film more substance. This film does have some suspenseful scenes, and in true Scream form, it doesn't take itself too seriously, so it is nice to see that the humor is still there. But the killer's motive is pure revenge? Really? I don't think this works very well at all, because it's a forced, over-convoluted mess. The whole plot's just all over the place. Too many things have to be put into place in order for this to succeed. His plan is way too overcomplicated. And wouldn't Richie's dad have a background check to become an NYC cop? Just a thought. My biggest problem is they forgot the main point. Having fun with the movies. It's sad when horror movies become an afterthought in a franchise about horror movies.
Okay. God damn it. I got it wrong again.
I still recommend it so you can judge it for yourself, and if you're a Scream fan, you might enjoy some moments. My official grade for Scream 6 is a medium popcorn. I'm not going to do another ranking video because it hasn't changed all that much. But if you're wondering, my ranking would be 1, 4, 2, 3, 5, 6. And now, for tricks and treats. Another one of my biggest problems with Scream 6 is it doesn't have any new or interesting ideas. It feels rushed, and it shows. So instead of having a cool new spin on it, we just get a rehash of everything that we had before. Sure, it doesn't exactly follow the Scream playbook, and it does subvert expectations, but it still felt underwhelming. So, I did some thinking, and I came up with 6 Part 6s that did add something new to the franchise. I call this my 6-6 mix. They're just 6 Part 6s. This isn't a ranking, they're not in any particular order or anything like that. These are all from major horror franchise, and they all just added something new to it that we hadn't seen before. The first one I want to mention is Jason Lives. This introduced zombie Jason and self-aware humor to the franchise. It's also the first time Camp Crystal Lake is open to the public, with kids in attendance. The next one is Curse of Chucky, which introduced Fiona Dourif as Nika, now a franchise mainstay. The next one is Saw 6. This was the first time the plot focused on a topical political issue, like the American healthcare system. Another Part 6 that added something new was The Curse of Michael Myers, because it explained all the supernatural elements about Michael Myers, or it at least tries to. It also gave us Paul Rudd. Next up is Survival of the Dead. This is Part 6 of George A. Romero's Of the Dead movies, and it introduced a family blood feud plot between 2 Irish families. The 6th Part 6, the last one. Drum roll please. Is The Howling Part 6, The Freaks. This is widely regarded as one of the best sequels in this horror franchise because of the plot development, the characters, and the special effects makeup. The good werewolf versus bad vampire idea was refreshing at the time by offering a larger scope to the world of The Howling. It also had the Freaks too, which added something new. So there you go, 6 Part 6s that all added something new to the franchise that Scream could learn from. Imagine that. Do you agree with my list? Leave comments below and we can talk about it. Why do you love horror movies so much? Leave comments down below and we can talk about that too. I just have a bit of sad news to say too. This is my godfather. His name is Stephen Pluhar. I spent a lot of time with my godfather going to the movies. And this was the last one I saw with him in theaters before he passed away this year of cancer. So I always have this close personal attachment to Scream 6. Even though I wasn't a big fan of the film, I would rank it toward the bottom of the franchise, I still have that connection to it. We were very close as I was growing up, and we spent a lot of time going to the movies together and talking about movies. Steve Pluhar came with me to a lot of conventions, and he helped me record a lot of the footage there. So I'm really excited. This is my first convention ever, my very first Comic-Con. And I thought the best person to share it with is my godfather. Say hello, Steve.
Hi.
And last year we went to 4 conventions. Hello, world. We're about to attend Niagara Falls Comic-Con. Look at that line. Hello, world. We're headed to day 2 of Niagara Falls Comic-Con. I'm with Steve.
Hi.
Hello, world. We're going to Fan Expo Canada. I'm with my godfather, Steve. Say hello, Steve.
Hi.
So we're here at Fan Expo Canada. Hello, world. It's Mr. FLIXTER, and it's day 4. Can you believe it? Of Fan Expo in Toronto, Canada. So, Steve, what has been your favorite thing so far in the first 3 days?
I liked the panel with LeVar Burton. That was great.
Yeah, that was fun. What else have you liked?
Well, I did some interviews with some of the vendors, and that was interesting. I did a couple of interviews with cosplayers. It was interesting, and I really love all the diversity of the costumes. Some of them are extremely elaborate. You can tell they worked very hard on those.
Oh yeah, for sure. But there's so much stuff to do here. We actually have to split up to cover more ground because there's the 2 buildings, and each building has like 4 floors. We'll see how it goes. It's about 10 a.m., you said?
Yeah, 10 a.m.
10 a.m. All right. So let's get this party started.
We actually made it, and yesterday it was horrible. I mean, we spent an hour literally to crawl about a kilometer so we could turn up Spadina Street.
I should have recorded the GPS to see how far it was, but it was like around the block and a few streets up. Like, oh, it was so bad. Oh.
It was horrible. And any recommendation I would make that in the future, if you're driving in to Comic-Con, especially during the weekend, leave early. Make sure that you try and get to Toronto before 10 a.m. Otherwise, the traffic will be just insane.
Yeah, it's good that you get that advice out there. All right, so are you ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do this. Let's go, Steve.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
So we're in line to see Robert Englund. I'm excited. I don't know about you. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited.
So at the end of day 4, the final day of Fan Expo Canada in Toronto, Ontario. How'd you like the convention, Steve?
Oh, it was good. There's a lot to see. Well, I guess the best part of the convention, as I said, LeVar Burton interview panel. I also liked the panel with the guy who did Freddy Krueger.
Oh yeah, Robert Englund.
Yeah, Robert Englund. That was also really good. I liked the cosplay and that. There's a lot to see, a lot of artwork. Got a few interviews with some vendors.
Yeah, it was awesome.
How were things when you were working on Buffy? Did the cast get along and all that?
I've seen the best and the worst in all of them, and they've seen the best and the worst in me, and so consequently, I love them all deeply, and I know who they are, and they know who I am. And I'm not going to say any more to that because it's just like I'm not sure if you understand, But they're all good human beings, and none of them are perfect, and I love them all.
Thank you very much. Hello, world. I stole your line there.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. So this concludes day 3, the 3rd and final day of Niagara Falls Comic-Con. It's been a really exciting time, but it's kind of sad that it's all over now. What was your favorite part of today, Steve?
Oh, let's see. My favorite one was, I think, the panel with Spike. Yeah, that was great.
I'm
Yeah,
kind of happy about that. Spike was pretty fun.
Yeah, I really liked that one. Well, I liked all of the panels, but Spike was my favorite.
And I'll be releasing that periodically over time. He was such a big help to me and my channel, and he's one of the reasons why I love movies so much. He gave me a new perspective on movies. Over a new time, I learned new things and learned to look at movies differently. I probably wouldn't be a film critic if it wasn't for him. Thank you, Steve, for everything. I'm going to miss you. May Stephen Pluhar rest in peace. Let's just have a little moment of silence for him. Thank you. And remember, as Billy Loomis says, movies don't create psychopaths. They make psychopaths more creative.
Until next time, 'tis the season to be spooky. Happy Halloween! Honestly, darling, thank you for watching. You really are marvelous, aren't you? Happy Halloween!
There's no business like ghosts. Hey, you did it to me too. Meow. Meow, 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 meow.
Bye.
Did you know that I'm a film critic for HorrorBuzz.com? You can read my reviews on their website, and I make frequent appearances on their YouTube channel, HorrorBuzz Live, so I'll leave links below for that too. You should check it out when you get a chance.